This number 5?
That's a good question. I don't know.
We in for the J Rose? Bridgin the Gap. Here we back. Bridgin the Gap Podcast here. Live and direct, as OG says, in Dubai. You know what it is. Same energy as always. Young OG, Ryan Yates. I feel like my voice sounds pristine today. I don't know if it's the vitamin C I've been drinking or what, but it sounds solid coming off. Let me turn this thing right over here. Man, we're here in Dubai. Maybe the Dubai weather got me feeling a little different over here in the car. I'm here with my OG, my guider, my coach, mentor, all of the above, What's up, OG?
Man, I never heard anybody say my voice sounds pristine.
Pristine. But listen, keep it in context. Think about where we started and how we were talking.
I get that.
Yeah.
But you let someone else say that. Because you listening to yourself, you don't know.
Man, listen, no, all of you guys that just joined the podcast, go back to season 1. We started at very humble beginnings. And remember, I do all the editing for the audio. So I be sitting through there cringing sometimes, like, man, we sound crazy. Like we talking through bags of chips. We here now, though, for all of our first-time listeners. We are, I'm Ryan Yates. This is the OG, Julian King. This is my longtime coach, mentor, family from, 2015? No, not even.
No,
2000.
2009.
2009.
2008. When you won the state championship.
2008.
Yeah.
So we in over a decade. We won championships together. He's been at my graduations, all that good stuff. Now we are in Dubai. We went from player coach to mentor. Now we're business partners. We're building a basketball brand called Hoop Mountain Dubai, Hoop Mountain DXB, hoopmountain.ae. Shout out to that new website, Let me see if I got my stuff rocking. That was a great feat. And so now we have this platform here where we just kick it and talk our stuff. How you feeling, OG?
You know what it is. Man, still lingering. You were just making fun of me because I got a little cough. My voice ain't great, from yelling all day at the kids, and then I'm still a little sick. So, I'm good. I'm always happy to get on live and talk a little basketball.
Yeah. Basketball and life, As you guys know, we always do a little check-in, a real quick one. I ain't gonna hold you. I told you last week I was feeling like I don't want to pay no bills, right? And, I still feel that way. That thing overwhelming. Hold on, guys. Zaheb, it's the first one. The first one right there. Yeah. And, we got our camera guy back there. He been eating up all the chips in here too. We got a whole snack office back there. He been crushing them, right? So I just gotta give him some guidance. But yeah, I've been feeling crazy, man. Been feeling tired. That's the ups and downs of the entrepreneurship.
Come on, man.
But
stop being soft.
Here we go. Yeah,
I'm saying young, strong. What you talking about?
That's you.
Come on, man. I'm almost elderly, man. Come on.
Why are you trying to, Benjamin Button yourself, man?
Listen, I'm just being honest, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
right,
I'm happy to have lived this long.
Yeah, man, we're happy for you. But I will say that I think what it is that it's around holiday time. The one thing about being overseas during this time is that you kind of lose track of all those Western dates. Like I had no clue Turkey Day was coming up. I'm sitting here, we just thinking about work.
Right.
We got these events coming for the kids. We got this coming for the podcast. And I get on Instagram and I'm like, oh, people got Christmas trees up, I'm like, all right, this that family time we used to.
Right. Yeah, Turkey Day, a little different for me, but it's a chance to get with family, eat, but we know what it is.
Yeah, it's just the food, Yeah. It is what it is. But I think that's part of what it is. But the weather here is immaculate. Yeah. Right, I call that pristine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's why I'm super salty because I'm not feeling well and I can't get out and enjoy the weather.
Yeah, we're soon, inshallah, soon, because it'll be like this for the next 4 or 5 months. So,
I hope so.
We're gonna get it in. But without further ado, we're going to get into our NBA check-in, but we got a special guest call-in from back home to DMV. Yep. This is from Coach King's Rolodex. So apparently he got some smoke. You can go ahead and dial him up. Okay. And let's see if he ready. We tell our guys, our listeners, that if you're listening, if you got an opinion on stuff, you can always call in. See what's up. This is gonna be interesting. I'm ready.
Hello,
TJ.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? It's JK, Coach King. I got Ryan Yates here with me. We want you to talk a little basketball with us for a second. First, let me introduce you to everybody.
Well, first, let's give them. You are live on air, okay? This will go up unedited. So whatever you say, you know what I'm saying, just make sure you stand by it. Nothing incriminating, because we are law-abiding citizens over here on this side of the world.
Hold on. First of all, this is somebody that I called in again. All right, this is my guy. Don't assassinate his character. You know what I'm saying? He's had his own radio show before, so let's chill out. He knows what this is live. He knows the rules. All right, you ain't controlling all this right now. All right? This is my guy TJ Mazik. He's working at Blessed Sacrament in DC. My guy, we've done the Hoop Ed Elite, basketball teams in the area, in DMV. Helping kids advance their teams and things like that, and further their careers.
And so their full potential.
Full potential. Okay. And so just so you guys know, TJ just had a little one recently. Congratulations.
Oh man, yeah. Congratulations, man.
Appreciate that.
All right. Now he's probably the self-proclaimed biggest Golden State Warriors fan on the East Coast.
Since when? Like 2015?
He's a bandwagon.
Back to when Mark Jackson was the coach. I started believing pretty early when they lost the Spurs in 7 back in the day when the Spurs went up and beat the Kings.
You see, I thought
this has been in the working.
If he would have said, the We Believe team,
right, with BD,
All right.
Man, he's got his imperfections. Let's say just.
All right.
But he was a little upset the other day because he thinks that you step on Steph Curry a little bit too much and disrespect Andrew Wiggins a little bit. So he had something to say.
Oh man, somebody
hold
on, TJ, you calling in to come to Cape for Andrew Wiggins? Oh man, I gotta hear this. I'm listening. I'm ready. I'm sitting up straight and everything.
Well, first of all, let me put it out there that I have put up some money that Golden State's going to make the finals this year.
Okay.
I called this well before the season even started, before they went undefeated in the preseason, and what they're doing now at 13-2 is impressive, and a lot of that is because of course, Steph, that you guys never give any credit. I mean, this guy changes the game so much and makes the game so easy for all of his teammates because you have to come up with all these gimmick defenses just to get the ball out of his hand because he's shooting from parking lots. And the other person is my guy, Andrew Wiggins. Okay. And Andrew Wiggins is such a big part of this team because he's the key factor of why the Warriors didn't win in 2016. All the Warriors needed was a better Harrison Barnes. They went and got Kevin Durant, which is overkill, not necessary. You don't need to go get that guy to win another championship. Literally, they took the Cavs to 7, which, with Draymond not being suspended, they probably win in 6. But that's neither here nor there. All right, Andrew Wiggins is a much better polished Harrison Barnes.
Okay.
His jump shot is flowing right now. His confidence is on a million, and he has bodies right now. He's catching everybody off the rim, off the bounce, and his little Hardaway turnaround that he has with the drop step is killing right now.
Okay. King, I got to ask him.
Yes.
You said he's a much more polished and better player than Harrison Barnes. And
what Harrison Barnes was in 2016.
Okay. The one thing I would say is Andrew Wiggins was the number 1 pick overall. With my question, correct? Andrew Wiggins was supposed to be the cornerstone of a franchise and change the direction of it completely? Correct? In Minnesota?
Right,
No, I'm asking. Hold on.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Number one pick, right? They saying he was a transformative player, correct? All-star talent, right?
Correct.
Right? He was also the one where Minnesota ownership had to sit him down and ask him, if we give you this money, are you going to live up to that potential? Is that Andrew Wiggins?
That Andrew Wiggins.
Okay, so
what year was he drafted? What year did that happen in?
That might have been like 15, 16, maybe somewhere around there. Well, my question is
and how many
meaningful games? How many meaningful games has Andrew Wiggins played in? So you just gave him a lot of credit for doing some things in November when all these games mean nothing. Defenses are just casually going through things. Nobody is hitting him hard, closing out hard, and each shot he takes has no meaning. Now, you talk about Harrison Barnes, that 2015 year when you guys won, he made big shots, very big shots. And he only struggled in the finals where only maybe 5% of the NBA get there. So you're telling me that Andrew Wiggins, the guy that you've seen was 8 years of evidence from, is going to be prepared for that moment just based off what you've seen here? Now, this is only a small sample size of just a few games within a great system, a system to where he is easily replaceable. As I've said before, Jordan Poole is the one. He's probably the reason why Wiggins is playing harder. But Wiggins hasn't proven anything at all. And this is just the regular season. You're going to bet with that.
Nothing has been proven. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. The thing is when he's in Minnesota, you're putting out there every other team's number one defender because he's the number one guy that's out there. Right now, he's going to pull he's the third best perimeter defender on any given team that they're playing against. You're going to put your best guy on Steph. By that time, you're either going to put your second best guy on Poole or Clay, whoever's in the game, and then you have Wiggins going up against somebody's third best defender. All right, you put him on somebody's third best defender, he's in a comfort zone. He doesn't have to worry about being the guy. So he can just eat off of everybody else's scraps. That's all he's been doing, and that's all he's going to be asked to do. He's not going to be asked to go out there and drop 30 every game. He's going to be asked to give me 14 points and hit a wide-open baseline jumper, which Harrison Barnes couldn't do in the finals. And that's all I need him to do is hit a wide-open baseline jumper. If you can do that for me, the Warriors will walk away with a championship. It won't even be close. Once he gets in the playoffs, he's still going to be the third, maybe fourth option because, like you said, they're going to have their depth lineup. I don't know if they'll be able to do this because it will make them ridiculous small. It's going to be Steph, Clay, Poole, him, and Draymond. That makes them really small. They'll only be able to do that for stretches, but that's all we're going to need.
You think so? All right.
But so he's going to he's going to fill the void.
The second option on the court at one time.
But he's going to fill the void that Harrison Barnes had in terms of rebounding and defense, though. Because remember, you got to make up for Steph's defense.
Exactly.
Okay.
Steph is playing the best defense of his whole career right now. He's in passing lanes all over the place.
He's in passing lanes.
The Warriors aren't going to block up these shots, but they're in passing lanes.
He's a good help.
The Warriors bench right now.
Hold on. You just gave him credit for being a good help defender, right? Now, if you've listened, JK's your guy. JK has always said this, is that he can play help defense. But that's not where his issue is. You talk about you're giving a lot of the blame to Harrison Barnes, but also in that finals, Dellavedova made $60 million that following season because Steph Curry was guarding him and they were calling him one-on-one in the post. I don't think that Andrew Wiggins covers that for you. Now, he is a better talent than Harrison Barnes. Yes. That is by far no question, right? But we've seen talent not live up to expectations because it takes more than that mentally. Now, I will say he should give you guys a boost in the playoffs. But the problem is the playoffs is the polar opposite to the regular season. Name how many players, when their very first time in the playoffs, let alone with championship expectations, and their very first time in the playoffs, they performed well when the pressure was on, when it was up to them to score. How many of those players existed? I only can think of one right now, and his name is Magic Johnson.
That's true. But how many teams do you have that have such a veteran-heavy, youth-heavy team? Like, usually there's something mixed in between. So we have the veterans that can show them the way, and then we have the young guys who are going to have the legs come the championship round of a 7-game series, game 7. They still got fresh legs. Jordan Poole can take minutes away from Steph throughout the playoffs. Steph can be playing at minutes a game, and he can still be lighting you up, and he won't be dead tired since he's so small and little. You know, that taxed him in the playoffs before. At the end of the day, he is a slight player. So all that bumping, I mean, he's gotten in the weight room a little bit, but that's only going to take him but so far. That's why Jordan Poole is so big. Jordan Poole, and not only him, but GP2 is going to come off the bench.
Oh,
We're talking
man.
about people playing well in playoffs. GP2 is just a defensive guy. You don't have playoffs or not. You're getting on the court and you're just out there to strap somebody up. All right. His motor is so high, he's going to be all over the court, stopping people, passing lanes, catching lobs. All right. He's not expected to drop buckets one-on-one or anything like that. He's a motor guy that's going to come into clutch.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel more confident about the Warriors going deep into the playoffs this year or those first 2 years when they made their run?
Probably this year.
Wow. You know, I've been hearing people say that. And I think you guys you, Stephen A. Smith, a couple of you guys, you're making it for a great storyline for LeBron.
Yeah.
You're making it for a great storyline for a lot of people.
It really is.
I can't lie.
Because if LeBron goes and wins it, it's going to just propel him so much higher. And
it shouldn't, though.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. Make me a little nervous.
It shouldn't. Here's the thing. First time they met, I don't think you would have put money on the Warriors beating the Cavs if Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love are healthy.
Exactly. Because every time Kyrie's faced Steph, he's dogged him. Yeah. Head to head, the stats have always showed, and it showed on the eye test.
And, you know, the next year when, you know, the Cavs won in 7, you know, I know everybody talks about the suspension with Draymond and everything, but you ask any coach, any star player, and they'll tell you, if we can get game 7 on our home floor, we're winning it.
Yep.
And what happened with the Cavs, that's not supposed to happen. It's never happened before.
Exactly.
And that was a team that was, you know, we're talking 73 wins.
Right. And you're talking about a guy, right? And you said getting KD was overkill, right? But you're talking about Mount Rushmore. If Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, any of those guys are in Steph's position, up 3-1, and you're a Mount Rushmore guy, you don't lose, let alone you never win a finals MVP. It means you were never the best player in that series. Right?
At the same time, you guys know Steph should have won that MVP over Iguodala. Iguodala still got torched by Bron. He just made it harder. Right? Steph still dropped 27 that series.
What does that say? Well, this is again my point to that, right? Steph got 27, but the reason why he didn't get it because he didn't win his matchup. Kyrie was the one that he broke him down, right? And that's what made the difference was he wasn't the better guard in that series. When you talk about numbers with elite players, they're all going to have numbers.
Well, the one thing about Steph's numbers, don't get me, he's phenomenal. We've never seen anything like it.
Greatest shooter ever.
But the one thing about Steph's numbers, when you shoot that many threes and you can fill it up, you're gonna score points. On a bad night, Steph may have 30, but they may not win in a playoff situation. But he's shooting at such a high volume that, you know, you hit a few threes, that adds up. Yeah. So, you know, it's a little different. But again, when great players are matched up with non-great players, they're supposed to torch them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, of course, Dellavedova had the advantage on him on the other end.
For sure.
But Dellavedova is not supposed to be in the same gym with him trying to guard him. It's supposed to be lights out.
Yes. And you talked about the system, correct? About how, you know, the system is, well, no, you didn't even say the system. You talked about how because Steph Curry's on the floor, he just garners so much attention, right? Now let's take it, that's for the casuals, right? Now let's take it deeper into that. Now, you heard us say on here before, if you switch teams and you put Dame into that situation, in the Warriors, and you put Steph in Portland, to where every single thing goes through you, right? Every movement, everything off the ball, off the dribble, you control every amount of it. If Steph dribbles too long and has to make a decision, he usually turns it over or takes a wild shot, right? Now, the system that they guys are running, Steph is running off a lot of screens. A lot of screens, a lot of screens, a lot of screens. And he's doing a great job off of it. And his best thing is he's always had David West. He's always had Draymond. He's always had Maurice Spates, Sean Livingston, Iggy, a guy that is 6'8", 6'7", 6'9", and can make great passes and great reads off of those screens when he's running hard off of. And more so, the system is what is making him look even better, because if he just had to go one-on-one, figure it out off pick and rolls all day, his turnover rate would be a whole lot higher too on top of that. And he's not physical enough to take on the beating that Chris Paul and all those guys would take. So he's great, but also is a match made in heaven with that system that Steve Kerr is going with the free-flowing offense and the ball moving.
Well, I won't penalize him for the system.
For sure.
The only thing I have a question with is just that you just gotta win. You gotta dominate your battles in the playoffs. That's the only thing. I mean, Steph, come on. He gets there this year. He's got to dominate whoever's in front of him. That's this is the bottom line.
And then you're giving a whole lot of credit to some role players. This man said GP2 and Jordan Poole. Now, remember what the Western Conference guards look like that he's going to have to go against, right? You got Phoenix, who got a seasoned now, Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. All those guys are ready, right? LA is going to be LA. The Clippers are still in the action too. The Jazz are more seasoned as well. So while you're saying GP2 and all those guys are giving you energy now, it's not about energy solely in the playoffs. But
so right now with Steph being many years in the league, how many minutes is he playing a game right now?
Around 33 to 36.
Okay. And Clay's
I want to lower that down to 30 once Clay gets back.
Yeah.
The Warriors, they'll become a little bit better when Clay gets back. But what I'm worried about is when Wiseman gets back, is they're going to take a step back defensively. I don't see Wiseman as a guy who sees the game as well as everybody else on his team. Well, I feel like it's going to take him to acclimate to the league. So I am worried about Wiseman's minutes once he gets back. Well, I think they'll start to lose a couple.
But if you watched him when he first came into the league, though, he's their rim protection.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he cleans up a lot of their mistakes. So you need him. So, with him, they get extremely better.
That's what I'm hoping, but I'm afraid that he's going to miss rotations. He's going to
listen.
You got more faith in Andrew Wiggins than Wiseman.
Listen, and Wiseman changes the franchise for the Warriors for the next decade. The guy is tripping, man. He wants to play small ball forever, right? He wants it, but
forever. I just want Wiseman to be all as advertised. Like I said, he's only played 6 games in college. Last year, he only had 20 games underneath his belt. And this year, he hasn't played yet.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Telling me that thing to write home about.
Let me ask you this. Even though he's been riddled with injuries, you don't have the same questions about Wiseman that you did about Andrew Wiggins.
Not even close. And the question here is, right, now he's a dependent player, right? Because he's a big. And so typically your big success is going to be based on how great your guards are. And for you, you said Steph Curry is, probably your lead for MVP and everything else. So wouldn't playing with Steph Curry make the game a lot easier for him?
That's what I'm hoping. Like
come on, man. Hit the horn.
You got to get him out of here.
Come on, man.
Nah, that's not bad, though. But now that we got one of Coach King's guys here, though, and I know you've watched the show a few times, Can you vouch and back me up and tell the truth about, JK? Look, he's not in the States. He's 7,000 miles away, 15-hour plane ride. You ain't got to worry about nothing, him popping up and calling to tell the truth, man. He gets a little grumpy sometimes, a little overzealous at times.
At times, but he gets the job done regardless. I can't speak ill. He usually comes through for me. So
This
You
guy.
know, he could get a little grumpy with people not doing what they're doing, but that's if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Thank
if
you.
Everybody's getting stuff done.
Thank you.
Then
Thank you. Do what you're supposed to do, Andrew Wiggins.
No, word though. Look, man, we appreciate you. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for diving in.
Thank you.
We'll have you on the show. You know, we'll have your Instagram and everything else so you can get your followers counts up so we can watch you coach the young cats there. Stay safe. We'll definitely check back in midway through the season to see how your Warriors are looking.
Yep.
Sounds good, fellas. Y'all have a good one.
All right, boy.
Later. All right. Yeah. Those Warrior fans, they'll cover it.
Delusional.
What, man? And now, look, people are so in love with the Warriors that it makes us look like haters.
I know.
Right? To where it's like, nah, man, we love Steph. Like,
you know, I how I feel about Steph and Clay.
Man.
And Draymond. I mean,
they work horses. Like, they are amazing. They've changed the game, right? And I want to give just as much credit to Draymond and Clay as Steph gets as far as changing the game. Because without that centerpiece with Draymond, they don't move the way they move, right? And so we love it, but I just don't like and me being, you know, Kobe fan forever, right? Kobe was chasing that 6. He was chasing that ghost that everybody chases, right? And one of the main things Kobe never had on his side was the media. Never had the media on his side, right? Everybody was probably giving him flack because he was chasing Jordan, even though if you want to be the best, you got to chase it. Right now, they are shaping it up perfect for Bron so he can, you know, come through and, you know, and I'm a Laker fan, so I want us to get another chip, right? But this Warriors team is not as good as any of those teams they had before. Like, those teams won. Like, they won full championships. Like, you got KD on one of those teams. Like, just slow your roll. Y'all shaping it up perfect for Bron to come in.
I think people forget about, even before KD joined the Warriors, that their bench, Clay, Draymond, and Steph could be on the bench together.
Mm-hmm.
And their bench would go on runs, 12-2, 10-4. Man, you can't, come on. There's no coach in the world that can account for that.
Man,
and there was,
come on. Right, you got Barbosa. Like, that whole...
It was ugly.
It was different, right? They don't... Now, while they look like a well-oiled machine right now, they are getting it done. Just slow down. It's November.
Yeah.
It's November, King.
I mean, but hey, they're 13-2. You got to talk about it. Yeah,
for sure. Respect it. But, you know, it is one little thing different away because the Suns started off slow. I think they just rolled off like 10 in a row. Right? Everybody looking to find their rhythm. I gotta start by giving myself a clap on the back, you know, a little pat on the back. I'm not celebrating anybody getting fired, but I will say, you know, I did bring up the fact that Luke Walton was underachieving, and, you know, De'Aaron Fox, one of your favorite players, young guys, I feel like his career was going to waste.
It was
stalling with Luke Walton there, and just 2 days ago, you know, after a 6-11 start, the Kings, you know, decided to go in a different direction now. Alvin Gentry is the head coach, interim head coach, and you got Doug Christie on the staff and Rico Hines. Man.
You know, well, he knew he was, I think he probably knew he was doomed because they lost like 7 of 8. Once you start losing, you know, 5, 6 in a row and guys aren't responding to you, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
they have to make a move.
Mm-hmm.
And they hadn't been, not one time have you seen them take a step forward. It's only been, you know, a step or two back. So, it was time. Now, you know, with Gentry, we know those guys are going to play hard.
Yeah.
They're going to play hard for him. You know, it would be nice to see Gentry get a stable position because he's always come through before and cleaned up other people's mess. And, you know, and then he gets them to a certain point, and then he gets railroaded. So
right.
we hope that he can, you know, make it happen and stick, you know. And I put a lot on the players.
Yeah.
Now you guys got a new coach. What you gonna do?
And normally that doesn't happen, right? We don't hear enough people talk about the fact that you got to ride for your guy as a player, especially in the NBA. Now, you got 3 black men on that staff, right? And I think Bobby Jackson may be on the staff as well.
Mm-hmm.
You got Gentry, Doug Christie, Rico Hines, and Bobby Jackson there for you. Like, it don't get no better than that as a player to have somebody that really understands you on and off the court. They've been through that grind, and then they still are in good enough shape to put you through the ringer.
Well, and it's not even just a black and white thing.
Yeah.
Because, KD had, Steve Nash and those guys.
For sure.
It's your assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that the assistant coach has a different relationship than the head coach most times.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're getting a chance to somebody who actually knows what you're going through, what the team has been going through, and they're going to make slight changes to help you guys get going.
I love it, man. I love it. I hope Sacramento can get it around because that's one of those small markets where those fans, they get busy.
For sure.
And I got nightmares remembering those old Jay Will, Pages, Stojakovic days. Chris Webber. Man, Stojakovic used to give me nightmares, So good luck to them. I hope they get it together. Speaking of the Warriors, Klay Thompson is cleared to fully practice. I expect he'll probably be playing by the end of December, early January.
I hope so, man. Just, him coming back the first time and then having that other injury, that just scares you. I know that he's physically going to be ready, but is he mentally going to be ready for a while, Because, do I go all out or do I save a little bit? How am I going to work my way back in? Because the style of play that he has, he's always in motion.
Yeah, and defensively, I think he's probably worked his way back. That's the one thing you always bring up about modern medicine, right? This is a whole different era of basketball than what you guys old heads are in.
He had that same medicine a year ago.
Yeah, well, I think he was trying to push it too hard, coming back too early, doing too much too soon. Just because he was, think about that mentally for him. That Raptor series, if he hadn't got hurt.
Oh, yeah.
He was on pace to go for 50.
No. He's going to get 60 then.
You know what I'm saying? So he was, he was on there like, man, I'm itching. Like, he already feeling it. Everybody throwing shade, not giving his respect. That's the competitor in him. And I think after that minor setback there, that it set him down to where he's like, all right, if I want to come back and do it, I got to do it, at full speed. I got to take my time. Right. I can't wait to see Klay back on the court, though.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Best looking jump shot in the league.
Man, I remember when Chuck first said it, and I was like, man, what is Chuck talking about? But yeah, he got that thing pretty.
It's pretty, man. The best catch and shoot in the game.
Yeah, solid. It's his base, too. We always talk to our hoop stars about having an athletic stance and a solid foundation. He's always on balance at all times.
Always ready to shoot. Man.
Ready to go. This is going to be another light-skinned fella, Michael Porter Jr. Now, in the offseason, when I think they might have gave him $175 million or something like that, they gave him an extension for like $175 million. Go ahead, check it.
What?
Check it out, right?
Man,
listen, because I'm asking now, should they be regretting that move?
What?
They gave him a nice little extension. I feel like it was a little bit too much money, and now they stuck with him.
Man, get out of here, man. With this, man.
Go ahead, look it up, man.
He's still on his $5 million a year deal. So his new one hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah, what extension did they give him though?
Let's see. Man, this dude.
Let me go ahead and look in for you. All right, Michael Porter. Yeah, so his extension was, the deal is a guaranteed $145 million and worth up to $172 million. 5-year rookie scale max extension. That was signed in September. Now I remember talking to my boys, just like, I ain't even see that much from Michael Porter Jr. to be throwing that out there. Like, who is his agent? And now he has serious nerve issues with his back that may put him out for the rest of the season.
Man, he's got it now. He was okay last year.
Listen, and you just think about like, and you talk about this before, and if we have time, we'll double back. You always say that your generation, the older guys' issues with the players now is not about the star players who are getting their money. It's not about the ones who are proving themselves, right? It's not the Jimmy Butlers and the superstars. It's the guys that's in the middle, the Gordon Haywards and all of them, and the Michael Porter Jr.'s that are getting 170, and you can't count on them, or you can't even look and justify why they got that much money. But then you had a guy like, Sidney Moncrief, right? Or the microwave, right? Vinny Johnson, or like guys like that who had to stay on Mario Ellie.
and this is what people are going to say. Well, it's inflation. No. Listen, this money is 30 times more than they were making. And when you talk about, if you're making 30 times more than someone else, your game should be at least double their game. I'm sorry. Like, that's just, he's making more than Draymond. Come on, like, that's crazy.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, you may think I'm a hater. Just being honest. You make this kind of money, you got to be available to play. You got to play hard every night. And you got to produce. I'm sorry. Like, guys just aren't producing and they're making $20 million a year. That's unacceptable.
Listen, Uncle Ro, shout out to Uncle Ro. He always told me, I like to know what I'm going to get when that guy walk off the bus.
Yep.
I don't care if Joe going to give me 5 fouls. Because you know what Joe going to give me? He going to give me 12 boards and 3 blocks.
Yep.
And I know I'm going to get that every night, no matter what. What's the most memorable thing from Michael Porter Jr.'s career so far?
Post-game. When he said he didn't get the ball enough?
We didn't even rehearse that. I ain't ask him that. He didn't even know that was on the question.
That's crazy.
Yo, your most memorable thing is that, and you got 75, 175, 145 guaranteed. And now you might not play the rest. See, that's the type of stuff that set a franchise back. My Lakers still paying Luau Deng. I think Joakim Noah's still getting a check from the Knicks.
But I give the Lakers credit for this because at least Luau had a run.
Yeah, he had a name.
They paid him. He was too old, of course, but he had done something.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about this young man's a young man. I just call him young man. You got to be able to play, man.
Yeah.
If you think his back is bothersome, you can't give him 175.
Not for the 5-year extension. Let him prove something. You know who I love right now? Miles Bridges. Right? They offered Miles Bridges maybe like 60 mil, 50 mil or something like that at the beginning of the season. He said, nah, I'm worth more than that. Right now, they're going to have to give that man.
Why would he sign it? Now look at everybody else getting their bread. So why would he sign it?
And they ain't proved nothing. So now he is killing. He's shown that he's improved on his shooting. He's been able to score off the bounce too. And everything else that he already did. He already strapped. He already was a dog. He already rebounded. And now he has a guard like LaMelo that's going to get him the ball and he's creating for himself. That's a guy that you got to make sure you pay in the offseason, right? That's one of them young dudes that he's like, yeah, you need to give him that money.
Yeah.
And
he's not a guy based on his history that only plays for the money too. He's always played hard.
You know the coincidence is there, the correlation? Yeah. Tom Izzo. Right? Talking about Draymond earlier before. Right? A lot of those Michigan State guys, no matter what, you know one thing. Even like a Gary Harris, he might be on and off with his shot. They gonna show up. And they're going to be tough.
Yep.
They're going to be ready to play. Gary Forbes, San Antonio guy, a shooter, find a way on the court all the time. Those are Michigan State guys.
State guys, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's in the Nuggets, man. You got an MVP and Joker. Like,
don't matter.
Because organization.
Yeah, don't matter.
Yeah.
And Murray's not healthy, is he?
Yeah, but I'm not a believer in Murray anyway. But not long term.
But he makes him better.
He makes him better, but if he's your second best player, that ain't it. Like if they had, because he's up and down. His bubble performance was great, but that was a bubble performance.
But he could be your second best player when you had the third and fourth best player were pretty good too, though. They lost one when it was
Paul Millsap.
They lost a young guy.
Oh, it was Gary Harrison and like Malik Beasley and some of those guys.
So
but
they had a crew with them,
Yeah, but you can't win that way unless you're as tough as the Detroit Pistons back in 2004 when they beat our Lakers. But they only won that because we weren't focused because they had a core. right? Nobody was overly better, but they had Rip, they had Chauncey, they had all this Rasheed.
I love all those guys. I love those guys.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to be the Lakers.
I know.
That was some internal strife. Right?
I know.
So let's not even bring that up.
But they did it though, But that's the only time I ever known of somebody like winning a chip collectively, right? To where it's like, look, we don't have no one-headed monster that's above or whatever. Like, you got to have two alphas for sure.
Like, no, he's an alpha. He's just not Damian Lillard or somebody like that. That's just bottom line. And you got to remember, Joker's MVP, but is Joker Joel Embiid?
Nah. But again, King, I don't think Jamal Murray is that. And this is what I'm saying. I don't think it's like. So you say he's not Damian Lillard, right? But when I'm talking about dogs who are in that next space who aren't like naturally gangster like that, I'm thinking of Jimmy Butler, right? Now you pair Jimmy Butler, that's something consistently. You're gonna get a certain mindset all the time. You're gonna get a certain toughness all the time, like no matter what. And he just gonna be able to grit and grind some things. He's just different. Now Jamal Murray, he had a crazy showing in the bubble, but even at the start of the season when it was back in the bright light, he was inconsistent, and he was showing those same inconsistencies before.
But it's a big difference in being inconsistent and having dog in you. You can have dog in you being inconsistent. Nobody has more dog in him than Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook, he's really, really inconsistent.
He a Hall of Famer, man. Show him.
That's what I'm saying. I love him. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying to you is that based on what they had, they had a good future, ahead of them. But injuries and a couple people leaving here.
Yeah, they made some interesting.
But now they stuck.
Boy. All right, Giannis. This is the talk coming out that Giannis may be the most dominant player ever to play basketball.
Great that's floating around. Could Giannis be one of the most dominant players in this era? Yes, but of all time, no.
Oh man,
you still got Shaq, you got Wilt, you got Kareem. When people talk about dominance, people don't think about Kareem sometimes. Kareem, there was like 4 years before they started keeping stats on like block shots. Kareem almost averaged double figures block shots. Like we're talking about a guy that he lost one game in high school, one game in college, and instantly came into the NBA and started dominating. Like that's dominating, against people who were his position that were also considered Hall of Famers. At Giannis's position right now, and I'm not trying to be funny, but who's his peer? AD, playing soft as a Twinkie. Joker's a 5, but it ain't, Giannis is something like a hybrid. We ain't never seen anything like him really.
Right.
So he can do a little bit of, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And now he's starting to say, okay, now I got these little guys on me. Let me go to the post, take them in the paint. Well, I got somebody bigger. I take him off the bounce. Now he's playing smarter. But there's nobody that rivals him in terms of who he is. So he's supposed to dominate.
Yeah.
What he did last year is what he's supposed to be doing the first few years.
Right. And just to think, like, that 50 whatever point game he put up, that was like a Tuesday afternoon for Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I know Kendrick Perkins. I mean, it's Kendrick Perkins who I saw saying it, and I'm like, man, like the context is important.
Yeah.
And I know I listen to my old heads, right? And so I listen to them when they talk about Moses Malone, right? They talk about Daryl Dawkins. They talk about Dominique. They talk about all those guys and other bigs having to play against them. Even Shaq having to play against KG, having to play against Tim.
David Robinson.
Elijah. Both of those eras. And you got to dominate within there to where it's a different type of thing, right? To where you talk about, how bullies get bullied, right? He going to get punched in his face first and then have to see how he going to react.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to test your heart to see,
Giannis is chilling.
Yeah.
Giannis is chilling.
Now, I will say he did punk the big man for the Suns.
He punked the AD the other night too.
Yeah. But, but again, those are we called them, those are lightweights.
Man,
You know?
come on, man. That's
Yeah.
cool. He doing this thing, doing what he's supposed to.
He's
but
supposed to, yes.
respect the totality of the situation.
Right.
Like, if you're going to be dominant, like, just think about, and you can't pick the era you're born in.
Right.
I get that. But for those who were in that era where the big men were the giant, when there was a certain point before MJ where the big men were only the ones considered for greatest of all time, and there were two people who were most dominant in that era, slow down. Yeah. And Giannis will tell you too. Let me finish the book first.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, he's doing what we thought he could do. He's doing it a couple years later.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep going though, Giannis. I like.
Sure. Love watching you play.
Yeah, and I think they're struggling right now because Brook Lopez isn't playing,
right,
which is interesting too. But
their dynamic changed when PJ left.
True.
Got to keep your toughness.
Yeah, because Miami loving it over there.
Right.
And the Wizards still getting big wins. What'd
you say about the Warriors? This is November.
Yes, I will say this though, and we should definitely say this. Wes Unseld Jr. is doing a great job. Because you as a coach know, one of the biggest things that you have to change when you come into somebody else's situation that's been there for a long time is the culture. Yeah. Right? Just the way the guys interact with each other, how they fight, how they push through things. Man, and that's the immediate difference there. I don't know if they'll win an Eastern Conference Finals or they go any farther in there, but what I do know is the Wizards now under his realm will be more competitive.
Yeah. Well, the instant change that I've seen is, you remember I said Bradley Beal?
Yeah.
He's been quiet. So if he's been quiet, that means he's happy. Mm-hmm. He's content. Mm-hmm. Like I said, later on, if they start to slip a little bit,
we'll see.
Then he may say, get me out of it. But if he's quiet, working with the new guys, Dinwiddie doesn't have a problem. They're playing, Kuzma's playing, they're okay. Yeah. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I won't take that away from him.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Appreciate that, though. Well, I like that. Chocolate City about to be brewing or something. So, got some funny things up here. But we'll segue in there one thing at a time. But first, Enes Kanter. Have you had time to check out what he's been on? Now, I will, preface this by saying, Enes, I do love the stance that you're taking for your people. Mm-hmm. I do love the fact that you're using, your likeness, your celebrity to speak out. I do think that is admirable. It's heroic. And I do, wish you well in your activism. Right. But you got to be careful what you're using and whose names you're using to propel your agenda. Right? Think I'm right in saying that?
No, I agree with you 100%.
Not off the wall.
I'd say it a little more bluntly. You trying to be eloquent with it. Listen, your battles isn't always someone else's battles.
Right.
That's bottom line. And in this particular case, LeBron's name was mentioned, and he was thrust into a situation in terms of defending something that you're trying to push. But I can say this, as a African American in the United States, and LeBron is very outspoken, he's probably got enough on his plate already.
Man.
So, we get what you're doing and everything, but come on, he can only do so much.
Right.
And then, that is also a situation where you got to approach him first before you bring his name up and call him out.
For sure. Especially a guy like Bron.
Yeah.
Right? So the one thing we mentioned before, but because you are a figure somewhere that's in the public eye does not make you the voice of political situations. You're not necessarily a change agent, right? You bring the awareness, but you're not the guy that administrates the change because you don't know how to write the policies and all those different things, et cetera, right? While you're fighting for a good cause, you're a basketball player first. Right? You haven't spent time learning how to build social movements, learning how to do this and that, nonviolent mobilization, anything like that. And so right now, it's kind of showing because you've been irresponsible with your platform. Now, if you're somebody that understands activism, social activism in its totality, you understand that the plight of a black man, right? Nobody ever comes to our rescue for anything, for nothing. You just the other day, the white kid Kyle Rittenhouse just got off for killing people on camera with an AK, and he just cried on stand and got away with it. You know, while there are black kids that if they jump the train and don't pay $2.75, they doing 10 years in jail. Yeah. And LeBron is specifically taking his platform to help build schools, help take care of those people there. But he didn't ask you to come and do anything like that. Nobody's asking him to stop in this space. So and be careful with that.
The reason he didn't ask you is because that's not your battle.
Man.
You know, it's great if you join.
Right.
He's not going to put that on you just yet because it's not your battle. Mm-hmm. You know, and the Rittenhouse thing was sad, but going into the trial, I knew he was going to get off because I had watched the video. He was right in self-defense, but for him not to get any charges for illegally having a gun, you know, and is ridiculous. But again, no matter how far we go, how far we've come, no matter how much money you have, there's still people within the United States who don't judge people the same way.
Listen,
don't judge people equally.
It's written in the Constitution, right? You talk about change and evolution. The world has changed so much since that Constitution was written, but it hasn't made one change. I mean, literally Biden, he said that, you know, I stand by the jury's verdict and, you know, the law system did its job. You know, if this was last year, he probably would be saying something different for campaign.
Yeah.
Right? But it is what it is, right? But with that understanding, when you look and understand that Enes Kanter, you know, be careful when you bring the King's name into something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you don't even say anything to him when he's playing in Boston right there in front of you. Right. So take care. But your fight is a fight worth fighting.
For sure.
No question about that. But you don't need to bring in somebody else like LeBron James and use his name and make him seem like he doesn't care about anybody else's situation. It's like, yo, we messed up too. That's our guy. That's he's putting his name on the line for us all the time. So, you know, take it easy, champ.
Yeah.
But, you know, sticking with the Laker thing, you know, we almost had Malice in the Palace Part 2. Man, shoot. Who got the fight the other day? It was another little fight or something in the league. Yep. A little. Oh, it was Rudy Gobert. It was Rudy Gobert and maybe like Miles Turner or something like that. Where they pushed each other, but they grabbed each other's forearms like they were tussling and dancing. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit different from the old heads, huh?
Yeah, it's you know, there wasn't much playing around. You know what I mean? And so people look at it and say, "Well, they make too much money; they shouldn't be fighting." Well, when your money's guaranteed, that's when the old heads have been like, "Now I got a reason to fight because I know I got my bag."
Listen, but I seen Kareem cold clock. That's the greatest scorer ever. I seen him cold clock. So that was the first minute of the game, right? We seen Bill Russell get into it. We seen Larry Bird get into it. All of them.
All of them. All of them. Like
all of them.
Like
Gilbert had the best response though.
What'd he say?
You ain't see Gilbert's? Well, you sent it to me. Gilbert had a long thing, right? He said, first of all, you don't charge at the King. You probably got about,
I didn't see that.
You probably got about 2 weeks before they send you to China.
Oh,
right? Now, and, they did just release the the fine for the young man because LeBron got ejected. You know, $950,000.
What?
My man got fined $950K for running that broad. Yo, you got elbowed in your eye. You leaking like Martin when he got hit by Tommy Hearns. You know what I'm saying? The whole squad jumping on you, and you got a whole ticket.
See, that's where the guys back in the day would say, if I know I'm gonna get this fine,
I'm gonna make it worth it.
I gotta make it worth it.
But the thing is, you ain't even touched Bron, and you got $950K. You breathe on him too hard. Man, you may never touch a basketball again in any part of the world.
But it was fugazi. Like
it was, it was blowing smoke.
You know, he pushed Bron in the lane, wrapped him up. You know how it is. You
so he can't.
Yeah. You know, you got to. Bron's did what he's supposed to do. Get him off you. and it hit him in the face. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't intentionally try. You know, he walked over to him. You all right? And if dude was gonna do something, he'd have done something right then. But all that extra stuff, you know, running through the trainers and assistant coach stuff, like, come on, man.
Hey, man. Hey, bro. Look, bro. You know how hard it is to get in the league, bro. You know that, you know what I'm saying? A guy like that, he probably was scratching and clawing. He's getting up there. He gotta be a workhorse. He gotta be on the backboard. He just got fined $950K because you elbowed him and shit, man. Send him a gift basket or something.
Come on, man.
Send him an edible arrangement with the little, you know what I'm saying, with the little bag on it.
Come on, man.
Send him something, yo. Like, you know, make peace, man. You the leader, big dog.
Come on, man.
You don't believe me? You don't think it's $950K?
Come on, man. I gotta look that up, man.
I'm about to send it to you right now. Oh man, as we're on right now, UConn and South Carolina women are playing.
I think you got to see that.
Look, right now, Shams reported it. Breaking, Isaiah Stewart has been fined $950,000. You know,
Man, I set up a payment plan right now.
his salary is $3 million. Ain't no payment plan; they just take it right out. Yeah, come on, LeBron, send that man something. You know what I'm saying? A get well soon
I
card.
don't feel that bad because this joint is $3 million this year, 3.5 next year, 5.
What about taxes,
7.
King?
I know.
And they taking $950.
I know, man.
Yo, he ain't even hit him. He ain't even hit that man, King.
Yeah. Hey,
Damn.
stuff happens.
Sheesh. Just stay well. You don't touch Kevin Durant. You don't touch any of the light-skinned dudes in Golden State. And you don't touch Bron, right?
Dang.
Damn.
He did put on a show, though. Yeah, he like he was playing football out there.
$950, King. Yeah. Good Lord.
But he slowed up when he got close to LeBron. Like,
that's because Russ was squaring up.
Man, yeah, 6 people behind, you know.
Russ was ready.
If that had been Rajon now, I'd been like, okay, Rajon like 2-piece somebody.
Yeah, and look, Rajon and Chris Paul 2-piece each other, and still ain't no $950,000 fine.
Right.
That shit wild, man. Good luck, young buck. Good luck. So, speaking of Lake Show, because, you know, I'm on a roll, so I'm just going to keep, you know, I'll keep rolling the dice. Frank Vogel.
Yeah.
You on borrowed time. Right now, we're even 500.
Yep.
If by the All-Star break, if we aren't 8 games over 500 in top 4 in the West, you out of there.
He could be gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was questions about him before, but you know they went on some runs, got it together, won the bubble, and then you know LeBron got hurt the other time, so you can always use that as a crutch. But right now, it ain't looking too good. You know, just because it's the same song each year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
We talked about this even when Coach and I were first starting the podcast and trying to get it together. If you'll go back and listen, we said it. The rotations are always terrible, right? There's no continuity with anything there. And we're never really sure we're running the offense.
Right.
Yes, we know you got the defense and stuff together, but right now, we're like 27th in the league in defense. So if that's your calling card and we're not at the top and we're not showing any signs of improvement, and while offensively we might be in trouble or we might have a little bit longer to get together, defensively we have athletes and we have vets, right? We should be much better. We should be much better.
Yeah, but
27th, King, 27th in the league of 30 teams, 32 teams.
When you look at the rotation, though, it's veteran heavy. It's veteran heavy. So, those guys don't have the legs to get after it all the time. Those guys are going to get after it in the precious moments. So you got to infuse your rotation with those young guys. They got to get after it.
But that's the problem right there. He doesn't.
We talked about, one guy in particular who every time he's with the Lakers, he plays a lot. He plays heavy minutes with Vogel. Is
Avery
Bradley. And great defender, but he's kind of past his prime in terms of getting after it and being a ball stopper. But I don't know, man. You gotta. They're gonna have to make a change soon if they don't start winning.
For sure, man. Because we sick of that shit.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I'm tired of looking at that. Like, we beat the Pistons, right? We were down 17, though.
I heard that.
What?
And the reason I say I heard because we're 9 hours
Yeah.
behind, so he's young, he can stay up.
No, I didn't. I woke up for prayer, and then my brother texted me. He was like, "Yeah, we all right," but we was down 17. I said, "Down 17 to the Pistons."
To the Pistons, yeah.
Like that doesn't even make sense. So get that together, man. All right. Last episode we talked about philosophy basketball wise a little bit, right? And we got into it a little bit with the conversation with TJ too.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that I would, go in and think of some teams and stuff, and have you go down the list of how you would coach them, right? And so I gave you a list of 5 before we got on air, and I'll name the 5, and some of them you might be like, look, it's a lost hope, and you can pass them to the wayside. But the ones where you feel like you got a clear-cut plan, go ahead. So for the viewers, I gave them the Portland Trailblazers as is, the LA Lakers, Minnesota Timberwolves, New York Knicks, and the Sacramento Kings, right? A little mixture of a little bit of everything, right? So, out of those 5, which ones, if not all of them, were you able to look at and be like, all right, this is what I would do with them that's different?
Well, I didn't get a chance to go over them in depth just because we had so much work to do. But just glancing at them, Sacramento got a new coach, so that solves a lot of their problems. Essentially, we got to give Gentry time to see what he puts in play because, of course, he was the assistant coach, so he kind of has a feel for what the players are wanting in terms of how they want to play.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting. How that's going to play out. So I'm not even going to talk about them. You mentioned Portland. There's no hope. They don't have a dynamic 3.
You've been saying that.
They got to have that, and they don't necessarily have a true big. Was it Nurkic? He's good. He's just not a true big. He's really probably a 4. That can do a little bit of everything, but he's not. They need a real post presence rim protector because, the backcourt is so small.
Right.
You got to make up for that deficiency. And really, Chauncey's at a disadvantage. What can you do that's going to be any different than what they've done before?
Put the ball in Dame's hands.
I mean, you got to, McCullough, you got to empty your clip tonight. Dame, you got to empty your clip this night. I mean, they don't even have Carmelo coming off the bench anymore.
Right, true.
So
they picking it up. They getting it together a little bit. But
yeah, but it's going to be a struggle. They're in the West, man.
It is.
The only thing with those guys, we say get the ball to them. But I would try to take the responsibility of scoring off the bounce from those guys a little bit. They got to be able to get some catch and shoots. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can, get a couple easy ones. Not be so taxed when they're, trying to get a shot up, at the end of the clock, and save their legs for the 4th man because,
that's that benefit of a system like the Warriors, where because Dame is trying hard to get Draymond,
yeah.
Right? Because a guy like Draymond is going to get him at least 7 to 8.
Correct.
Easy ones
right.
that he doesn't get at all. Like, he got to work. I was watching the highlights of that game against the Sixers, and he got to work hard to get around Georges Niang and Thibault, and a lot of effort.
Trying to turn the corner against that length is tough.
And we don't see Steph do that.
Right.
Steph trying to turn the corner off a screen.
Right.
Right? With off the ball.
Right.
Right? Just running somebody into something. So
you say that, what Golden State has compared to Portland, I say more so it's the roster.
That's the big time difference.
The roster. Because you put Draymond there now, he can help. It ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? Golden State, their 1 through 8, 1 through 9 are all pieces that they can move around, and they're all, they're all versatile. They're adjustable, and Portland just doesn't have that. You think about how many places can you move McCullough and Damian?
Right.
They're really both.
Right. They're both the same too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's go. So you said Sacramento and Trailblazers. You like, yo, you ain't even giving me nothing I can work with. I'm selling this block. So you got the Lakers, Minnesota, and the Knicks left.
Minnesota. Oh, I should have put them in there too.
But Minnesota got pieces though.
They got Anthony Edwards. They got
D'Lo.
They got D'Lo. You know how I feel about D'Lo.
Yeah.
You know, and you got Karl Anthony Towns.
They just beat the Memphis by 40 the other night.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Yeah. And this is the league. Sometimes there's gonna be some bad scores.
Yeah.
You just said the Lakers are down 15.
See, they got us out the way too.
With Minnesota, you know, with those guys, you know, when you have
Oh, I forgot. They got your guy, Pat Bev.
Pat Bev's on it. See, I don't even watch the Minnesota. So I like them now. So, you know, with that group, especially with Pat Bev leading the way, you know, you got to be a little more defensive minded because we all know if you get Anthony Edwards in transition,
Showtime.
It's a wrap. He's getting to the rack, and he's improving his game where he's making better decisions as well. But for sure, I'm probably running everything through Cat, just because he is that modern day version of KG without the toughness. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, and I'm not saying he is, but he could be.
There's no defense.
Yeah. You know, so you know, he's a guy that creates mismatches. So now you're talking about D'Lo on the same side as he is, and he's operating a little bit. You can't leave D'Lo because he's a pretty good spot up shooter.
For sure.
So he's gonna knock that down. And any swings opposite, now you got Anthony Edwards on the weak side attacking the basket. So, you know, that's how I'm playing with those guys. And you know, the mindset is if we can pick it up a little bit defensively, now we get some easier trips down the floor and get some easier baskets.
Okay. I like Anthony Edwards and D'Lo together too.
Edwards
because D'Lo is like 6'6". That's another thing, right? Because he is a big guard
and lefty.
Yeah, and he gets to it. And he's crafty. Right now, this is gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna save the best for last. Okay. Right. So let's go with the Lakers.
Okay.
Right, because this is easy work. Right. This is you got a lot of pieces that you can work with. Like you just pick your poison. How you want to put them.
Listen, you know, all these schemes and all that stuff is great. Get on the board and all, man, bump that. You got AD, you got LeBron.
So who would you start?
AD, LeBron, Westbrook. Probably start DeAndre because I'll bring in Dwight for him, right away. And then my other guy,
THT.
I like him coming off the bench. The reason is because he needs the ball in his hands so much. You know what I'm saying? He really, he really plays like a 9-10 year veteran scorer. He's the bully ball. So I'd probably bring him off the bench, and I'd probably go ahead and start one of my younger guys because you're going to need them down the stretch. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at probably what's the guy from Wayne Ellington. He's a pretty good shooter. And you need a spacer anyway. Yeah. So I'm bringing. I'm probably that
Wayne's still old. That's a UNC cat. I love that. But he knocked down though.
He can spot up though. He knocked down. So that way now think about my second unit, Carmelo and THT. Rondo. That's a lot of fire with Rondo leading the way with that IQ. That's a lot of firepower coming in against somebody else's bench. But schemes, come on, man. I'm sorry, Westbrook. You got to slide over. Bron's got to run the point. I'm sorry, because they're not gonna. I know everybody's talking about pace. There ain't no pace. Bron is 19 years in the league. You got to slow it down. You get a run out or something like that. That's different. But we're talking about, bringing the ball up after someone scored. No, hunker down, bring it up. 2-man game. Him and AD. I'm sorry. Somebody's got to double. And LeBron, even if his jump shot is not clicking, the one thing he's good at is what you mentioned about with Draymond Green. He finds the next guy, or he makes the play for the next guy. And so with Westbrook on the opposite side, people are thinking that, he's got to be a spot-up shooter. No, he doesn't. He's just got to be a guy that attacks the gaps. Get him out of the middle of the floor, so now defenses can't wall him up. Put him on the wing, so now it's a quick 1-2 jump baseline, or he is hitting middle. Now, if he does get double, he can't kick it out because he is a willing passer.
Yeah.
He's just crazy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But there ain't no schemes. I'm coming down. There's only 24 seconds in the clock. AD, boom. Because how many people in the league are matching up with him? Realistically.
He self-checked, though. He guarded himself.
He's got to get out of that, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's easy work. Now, this is the interesting one, the Knicks.
Got to get dirty.
Yeah.
Grind it out. The way Tibbs had them playing last year, it has to be their identity.
And now you have Kemba.
Yeah. See,
with the team, because he can create his own offense, and that's one of the issues that they had because they didn't have a guard who could create and then create something for Julius, so he didn't have to stand up and do it himself.
The main problem with their offense, because they were going through Randall the whole time, is that it's the position where he was catching the ball.
Right.
He was initiating his move or the offense at the top.
Right.
We got to give it to Randall, elbow, or at least right wing or something like that. And so now, not only can he see over the top, but now if he needs to get back to his left, which we all know,
always,
that's the case. He can go baseline, but so now even if someone's forcing him the other way, it's not that situation where he's got to go 1, 2, 3, 4 dribbles with his right hand. It's 1, 2 shot or pass.
True.
And so he's almost going to be like a 0.4 to me, and I'm running everything for him. And so, you got Derrick Rose, who has evolved his game. He's a decent, respectable shooter now.
And still can finish.
So you're talking about him coming down, initiating the offense, dumping it over to Randall and diving off of him there, and then seeing what you can get off that dive where Randall's attacking. He doesn't have anything. Now he's kicking to Rose on the other side because Rose is smart enough and still talented enough to make a play that hit the shooters on the opposite side.
And you got a young buck like Emmanuel quickly, who gives you quick firepower. You got Mitchell Robinson now, who is catching all those lobs over top. And RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Good guy.
He's from Duke. He gotta get better 3-point wise. Right. But he's growing as a player. And then you got quietly Alec Burks. Right. He's a professional.
I like him.
He's a professional, like that Wayne Ellington vibe, to where he's gonna be in the league because he can score, he can put the ball in the bucket. The Knicks got a real solid team. It's gonna be interesting to see how they grow into that.
They just gotta understand everything doesn't have to be Randall pound it. He's gotta be a screen setter sometimes and hard roll. He's got size on him, man.
Those buckets count too.
For sure. And you're picking up the foul count on the other team as well.
He got a little Rodney Rogers in him.
Yeah. Probably not as much bounce, but
people don't even know Rodney Rogers is a monster.
Yeah, man, bless his soul, man. He had a ATV accident. It was paralyzed, man. Yeah. So
life change any moment
for sure,
right? No, that's not bad. So that's how you rock it.
Yeah.
I do think also people have been talking about our Laker experiment not working. And we talked about it a little bit here too. And every day that I look at it, I'm trying to figure out what it is that's wrong.
Did you say the experiment?
With Russ. Right.
Okay.
But when I look, it's just like body language, right? It's just intensity. It's just the way they're showing up to start the game and energy-wise is what looks different to me. And that's where it starts to go from just the players to where I think it's the coaching thing. It's a voice that's not clicking in the locker room. I think, man, you can't tell me that Russ not going to figure it out. You can't tell me. Like, you've been in the league over a decade. You can't tell me that everything that he did was just fugazi and just randomly got there. Something going to click. So even if he's not triple-double guy that he was there, or Russell Westbrook can be a D-Wade to LeBron type of thing, a dynamic guy to his wingman stuff like Miami to a lesser degree.
He just got to be off the ball.
Yeah.
He's got to be off the ball until moments late in the game where everybody's got a flow and everybody's sticking.
Yeah.
Then hey, then it's murder she wrote.
Yeah, because
earlier in the game, people are sagging in, you're at the top of the key and
no rhythm.
Somebody's at the foul line daring you to shoot.
And that's funny. One of the early things I learned, right, when my role changed and I started becoming a focal point of offense or the focal point of offense, you always used to say, look, you're not a pure shooter. And once you get your rhythm, then any shot on the court you can shoot. But your first shot of the game don't need to be a three-pointer or a jumper.
It'll be a sweat shot.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The sweat shot. Make sure you tell them what that is.
Sweat shot is, one where you're working your butt off to get that shot. I mean, you're driving to the basket, hard jump stop, shot fake, finish that way, or driving hard, pull up over somebody, but something within the paint, or maybe short corner, something like that. But it's got to be something in rhythm, and it can't be forced.
Mm-hmm.
But I say drive hard. I mean, put your head down and go. But it's got to be something that gets you going a little bit there, where you can catch your rhythm a little faster, as opposed to coming in, sprinting to the corner, catch and shoot deep three. That doesn't work for everybody. Everybody's not Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, those guys.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So if Russ can get more of those rhythm buckets going, then it's different.
It's over.
It's different. Like we tell our youngins now, it's like basketball really is rhythm. It's like a bodily intelligence, because your body starts to let you know when you got that bop and you got that bounce, and you're like, oh, today I'm just a step faster than everybody. Yep. All right, or today my timing is just right on point, and the way I'm leaning this way and that way, I'm on balance with everything. That's off repetition. Yep. Your body knows how that feels, and once you get it and you there, well, that's when that zone happens. So you know the difference.
And I guarantee you, if he is removed, depending on who takes over, I guarantee you, people will start the first few touches of the game with Russ in the post. I guarantee you.
I like it.
I guarantee you.
I like it. I like it too. And you think about the success he had in Houston with Harden.
Yep.
I ain't shooting all them threes, but he was leading the league. He was topping the league with paint touches, paint scores.
Yep. And the foul count was going up on the other.
Right.
That's what you want,
that don't change. And again, Russ is a Hall of Fame guy, so they're gonna figure that out. I gotta say this though. Mom Dukes gave me hell the other day. Mom Dukes, she said, "Yo, why you have a Raiders hat on?" She's like, "What are you a Cowboy?" I was like, "Mom, So I might. They say the Cowboys doing good, and I've been a Cowboy fan for like 20 years. I ain't watched football in a couple because I've been hurt.
Listen, man, I was a Cowboys fan before you started being a Cowboys fan.
But at least you got to see some fun Cowboy years, though.
I did.
But I'm talking about.
It got to a point where I was like, this is comical.
Listen, it was always comical. Quincy Carter. Those were my guys back then. So I might got to find a Cowboy